Everybody. Yeah, I'm about to do a mix here for Joshua Kriese, APayne, and a couple other, I think another feature artist there on the chorus. It's a two-track instrumental with vocals. So I think more to be done is going to be on the chorus, which is typically the case when you got a singing chorus. So we're gonna start off with the chorus. So, all right, let me uh, let me get situated here. I got my camera here. Maybe I should just. Maybe what I'll do is I'll bring the camera over. What do you think? Yeah, let's bring the camera over here. Let's see. How's that? There we go. Now you can kind of see what's happening. All right. Let me get started here. Just to kind of do a little outline overview of what I already have set up. So vocals sitting in this folder here, instrumental sitting in a two-track folder. This two-track folder, this instrumental is sending to this to this music bus, which then goes to the mix bus. And on the music bus, just for some initial processing, I have the little brain works. This here is giving me a little bit of compression, and then I'm pretty much just bumping some of the foundation up. I like the sound; it gives it nice and warm, nice and thick. A little bit of stereo enhance, nothing too crazy. And then that is going into my mix bus chain. Now, my mix bus chain is something that I've developed over the years, something that I like. It really is a sound that I'm going for, and everything that I set up going into it, it's pretty much the same every single time. This is my template. I'll show you my mix bus chain, my API. This has a little bit of a bump on the 20K, and then a little bit of a bump on the 50 hertz. That is for like the kind of the smiley curve of a mastering sort of EQ curve. The Pultec, this is for saturation and warmth. I don't have anything bumped up on this one. This is just for some warmth. Now everything going into this SSL compressor, I used to use the T-Rax bus compressor. I like it. I just decided to switch her up. Maybe I might go back to it, don't know. But this one I'm typically floating around -3, maybe hitting a little bit -3.5 for compression, and I have it on Dr. Dre settings, which is slow attack, fast release, and a 4:1 ratio. The God particle staple, I used to have this thing up to 100. I don't know what I was thinking, but you know what? I've been kind of just floating around 33% for God particle. And if all that is set properly, I'm going into my Pro L, which is, that's going to be cranked. That should be giving me about -3 dB worth of reduction. So all of this, the way that I've set up my gain staging for mix, track out, non-track out, doesn't matter. I should be getting -3 here, and so depending on how things are sounding, production-wise and vocal-wise, I should be around -9 to -11 LUFS for a first initial mix. So that is what I have. Let me now sort of jump into my process for gain staging. Let's just see what's going on here. All right, cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to show you my process for when I set up my initial loudness for mixing. This is the TB Pro Audio meter. It is free. Go check it out. I like how it looks. I like how it moves. It's great. So what I'm going to do initially is I already got the beat really brought down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deactivate all of this processing. I'm going to keep my meter up. Now I just want to see what's happening here when we do the chorus. Let's take a look. All right, so this is hitting my meters too loud. Even though I still have the beat turned down minus 12 dB, I still need to go a little bit more as well, just to kind of get the headroom we're looking for. All right. Now, so I don't have to go crazy with compression. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring the vocals all up a bit, and then I'll balance it out again. All right, I like that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. All right, so now what I'm looking at here, let me just fix my microphone here. So what I'm looking at here now is my instrumental, my vocals are all hitting a specific volume that I'm looking for. Now, because my instrumental and vocals are all hitting a specific volume, now when I activate the beginning chain for the instrumental, the vocals, and then the mix bus, once I have all that activated, I should, in theory, be getting about minus 3 dB on that Pro L limiter. So let's see if my practice over time has allowed me to nail this. Let's take a look. All right, here we go. Hopefully.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Jesus, pray that we be one. Jesus, let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tire road.
Let's have a talk, bro. Yeah, meet me on the narrow path to chat, and we can walk slow.
So I'm not over, and I'm about halfway there when it comes to the amount of limiting that I'm doing. Let's take a look at how much I'm doing for, let's use Insight. Insight's always the best. For loudness, I'm gonna go back to the chorus here.
Above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Jesus, pray that we be one. Jesus, let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tire road.
All right, perfect. So I'm about minus 13.4 right now for the integrated LUFS, and then the short-term LUFS and max, I think, is more where I want to be. So the goal for me now is I have the headroom that I need to go louder. and through compression effects and more balancing of the vocals, I'm going to be able to get louder. And then my limiter, by the time I am pretty much done the mix, I should be hopefully at a -3 in gain reduction, maybe less, if I keep everything somewhat stable and limited and controlled. So then that way I have my basic foundation for my mix, the start of my mix. All right. So here we go. Let's see now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the mix here. I'm mixing through my VSX. So I'm hearing, what room am I using here? Man, my internet is no está bueno. No está bueno. My internet is doing bad. So I don't know what's going on today. But that's how it's been all day in this area of my community. But we're going to keep it rocking anyways. So I usually start off with the VSX. Let me just move my camera over here. There we go. Yeah, so I usually start off in this room. Now, the reason why I choose the near field little Oratone is simple. I want to be able just to focus on the mid-range of the mix, and that's where I find the best control. That's where I find the easiest moves to make, just focusing on specific mid-range of a song. So that could be mid-range of the instrumentation, that could be the mid-range of the vocals, but that's why I use the Oratone. Now, as I sort of shop around in different rooms, there's different rooms here that I like to go to. One of them specifically to see how bright my room is, I'll go to Zuma. Zuma has a very sort of bright EQ curve on it that allows me to hear if my stuff is a little too bright and a little too ear piercing. Another really good one that I enjoy using is going to be the club, and I usually go on bass, so that way I can kind of understand where things are sitting at bass wise. So, but I start and I most likely stay here until I'm ready to move away. So let me close that up. I'm gonna move my camera back. All right, there we go. All right, again, internet is acting up, but I'm still gonna stream. Internet can't stop me now. All right, here we go. I'm gonna get into the chorus here. One of the things that I know for sure I sometimes forget to activate is going to be Track Spacer. Track Spacer is a cheat code, and everyone should definitely have Track Spacer if you're mixing. Doesn't matter if you're mixing 2 tracks or instrumentals. I think one of the biggest benefits of Track Spacer is that it just gets you a lot quicker, gets you to a destination a lot quicker. Now, obviously, I could go in with some dynamic EQ and start using Pro Q3 to do some dynamic work to get the beat out of the way for the vocals, but with Track Spacer, it's taking care of it for you. So let's I got that activated. I only got a little bit on there, and then we'll move forward from there.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come. And your will be done on this tightrope.
All right, I'm just gonna change this back to unfreeze. Okay. So my first goal on any sort of vocal, group vocal, chorus vocal is just to clean it up. That is pretty much my first. I don't want to go start adding EQ I don't want to start adding compression or reverb or saturation. No, none of that. First goal is just clean up what I hear to be frequencies that are troublesome. It's kind of like doing the dishes before you cook, if you know what I mean. Some people don't do that actually.
above. Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in kingdom come. And your will be done on this tightrope. Above, lift me, speak the truth in love. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. Above, lift me up.
All right, so now that I have the vocals cleaned up a bit, let me run a before and after on that.
Above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. Above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one.
So pray that we be one. Let me see if I can really.
There's power in the tongue. Pray that.
Okay, yeah, that's a perfect opportunity to show you guys what I'm hearing and what I wanted to do to clean it up.
Pray that we be one. Pray that we be one.
So that we be.
We
So that we, if you can hear it.
we pray that we be one.
There is a little peak that's poking out, and it doesn't sound musical. It doesn't sound natural. Could be the microphone, could be his voice, could be the room, could be a lot of things. So when I hear it, I feel like, okay, so if I don't take care of it right now, when I start to do all my compression and I start to do all the other mix moves that we do, that's going to get louder. That's going to get louder and louder and louder and louder, and then it's going to be out of control. So we start with it right now. We get rid of it right now.
We be one. Let your kingdom come.
Okay, let's see if I can.
We be one. Pray that 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 we be one.
So I boosted it just to show you what I was hearing.
Pray.
All right, so what we can hear it definitely without, even without boosting it. Let's just see.
Pray that.
So we don't always have to boost to find the bad frequencies, but it does help. I mean, if you go through the whole entire spectrum, you'll be able to hear the frequencies boost and harsh at the same time, right? So here is where we're going to be able to really take care of that frequency, either with some dynamic EQ, which means that it only reacts when it hits a certain threshold and then it pulls it down, or we can just pretty much put a static EQ that just brings it down, and then from there we can just control it the entire time. And if it's the frequency that is very common in his vocal to have that piercing frequency, then that's a good move. But if it's a frequency that only peaks out on a certain note, maybe it is good to do dynamic. All right, so let's just take a listen here.
Pray that we be one. Pray that one. Pray that we be 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 one. Pray that we.
There we go. All right, so I just gotta step away from my desk here. So I'm gonna put the song on. I'm gonna put the no cam on, and I'm gonna play the song back here. All right, all right, all right. Sorry about that. I am back. My wife just got back from Costco and she had a big haul, so I had to help. And here I am. So hopefully I didn't waste too much of your time. Could have fast forwarded through that, but here we go. Let's get back to it. Let me get back into this chorus.
Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one.
Yeah, just to run through again, what I did was it's just finding the unnatural frequency and ducking it just enough. You don't want to kill too much of it. Enough to control it, right? We're looking for control.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope.
All right. Second order of business is a little bit of saturation.
Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come.
All right, I'm gonna fly through this vocal here. So since I already did some EQ specifically on the chorus, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna add a little bit of warmth. And my favorite tool for warmth is Magma Lil Tube. It's gonna add a little bit of density to the vocal. Let's see if it does what I'm claiming.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. This power.
Yeah, enough is enough.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. Lift me up, speak the truth in love.
All right, so my next move on these chorus vocals is going to be a simple T-Rax EQ73. It's going to be a little bit of a low shelf. And what this low shelf is going to look like is going to look like 220. Oh, my bad. We'll go 220. And then it's going to look like this.
Love, enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one.
But I like to do it with this guy. This of a EQ 1073 saturation. So I want to do that. Let's do it with it.
Love, enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope.
All right, I like that. So what I'm hearing is that the vocals are getting a little loud, so I'm gonna deactivate the Fairchild for now.
Love, enough is enough. There's power in the tongue.
There we go.
Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come.
All right.
And your will be done on this tightrope.
Okay, perfect. So now my next move here is gonna be just moving into my first move into compression. So the goal with this type of compression is just for control. I don't want to kind of, squish or squash the vocal. I just want to be able to control some of the dynamic presence. Now, some of this is going to be done, could be done, and give you a lighter touch, is if you just do simple gain, manual gain staging or gain writing. I don't know what the term would be, but just a little bit, because you can kind of hear it already. I'm going to go into slip mode. You can kind of already hear that it's not really.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the.
This is going to be an S. You don't want the S to be.
Speak the truth in love.
this here. This could go up.
Truth,
There we go.
speak the truth in love. Enough is enough.
That definitely needs to come up. So let's just bring it right here. And let's just do the gain.
Enough is enough.
Clip gaining. That's the word.
There's power in the tongue.
Ooh, so I like that, but I want this clip gain to have a little bit of a boost here. There we go.
There's power in the tongue.
See that?
There's power in the tongue.
Versus
There's power in the tongue.
not having that sort of ride. It's gonna now be more present. So this is before we're going into compression. Why? Why before? So the compressor doesn't overwork. So we don't over compress.
Pray that we be one.
We be one. All right. Right there.
Pray that we be one. Let your
Right there. Let your
kingdom come, and your will be done on this tire road.
Cool. I love it. All right. And that's an easily copied vocal. And while I'm here, let's just do a little cleanup here. Get rid of some of these spaces. It's a very, very cleanly recorded vocal, but we still want to get rid of some of this dead air here. Might matter, might not. To me, I think it matters, but all right. Fade all those in with the
If
F.
God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is
Okay, so now I have a staged gain, clip gained vocal with a little bit more of a balance, maybe a little bit more level vocal. So now my compression comes into play. C2, this is my staple compressor.
if God's above, lift me up.
All right, so this is what I'm doing here. With this type of compression, I'm just looking for something clean, something that is going to just give me control. What my goal here is to sort of have an idea that the vocal is being softly controlled using my attack and release parameters. All right, so let me show you, let me run you by how I set it, and then I'll explain what I've done.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue.
All right, so I went slow attack, and then I didn't hear the compression.
If God's above,
There is compression.
if God's above, lift me up. Speak the
But I wanted it to be able to grab it a little bit more, so it wasn't missing. It was missing it, but now it's actually latching on.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough.
See how quickly it grabs it there? That's too much. I don't want it to be grabbing it too quickly. I want it to sort of just massage it a little bit versus just quickly acting and reacting to it.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the
I'm not worried about volume right now. I'm more concerned about just control, right? I'm going to be able to add more process, add more volume in different ways. Right now, that's not the goal.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one.
All right, so now my release was slow, and now I'm in a little bit faster. So, somewhat of a fast and medium attack and a little bit faster release. Why? So then it moves quicker and it releases quicker. So then the medium slow attack allows it, it allows it to grab it and control it. So it's sort of massaging it. Pro C2 is excellent for this because not only you can hear it, but you can also watch what is happening. And you want to have somewhat of a musical sort of graphic representation as to what's happening.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one.
So that's how I set my Pro C2. It's again a slow process. It doesn't involve too much aside from just messing around with those parameters and getting that threshold set properly. Now I move into another set of compression. What I'm going to use this time is going to be the X pressor from T-Rex. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here. I'm going to bring my camera over right there. There. That's cool. All right. With the X-Pressor, this here is going to be what I like to use at a 3-to-1. This 3-to-1 ratio for the X-Pressor is going to be perfect for me right now. Again, same concept. So what I had was a little bit of a medium to fast attack with a faster release. Now this one is going to catch, I want things to catch it a little quicker. And then also to hold it a little bit more than the other one before. To create this balance, this control, and a natural sounding compression. I'm going to drive it in a little bit to see about -3 gain reduction, and then some distortion to add the grit that it needs. All right, here we go. Let's give it a shot.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope.
Let me fix that. Let me get back into that.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue.
All right, so first, a little bit of processing. Let's talk about it. Where did we start? Where are we right now? We started with a little bit of magma, little tube, just to add some depth, EQ to control some of the frequencies I didn't like, saturation with the distortion up a tiny bit, and then my favorite type of shelf for modern vocals, some compression for a little bit of control, and then a little bit more compression for that push and pull. Now we're moving into my favorite. It's going to be multi-band compression. So let's just listen to what we had here, just the vocals.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one.
Sweet. All right. So it's interesting because with the music muted, you can hear the recording, the room where he is. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So when I had the music going, I wasn't too concerned about it. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And if while I'm processing, while I'm getting all the EQs and everything, all the compression, saturation all dialed in, and it starts to poke out, then we can go back in with some EQ and then start reducing the room resonating frequencies that I can hear in his recording. But for the first, let's go into multi-band compression with the Pro MB. All right, here we go. With the music, let's go.
If God's above, lift me up. speak the truth in love. Enough is enough.
All right, so my goal is I'm going to use 4 bands. And these 4 bands, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply find where the natural crossover of the vocal lies. All right, so for the sibilants, for the mid-range, for the mud and kind of the thickness of the vocal, and then the rest sort of is the low end, the bassy part of the vocal that we don't necessarily need, the sub-bassy. So from there, then once I have the natural frequency spectrum pretty much pieced in 4 pieces, then I can start controlling the vocal with some multiband compression. Let's do that right now.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. It's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tire road. If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love.
All right. So now let me explain it to you now. Here we go.
If God's above.
So what I hear is the S's, a little bit of the sibilants, but I don't hear too much of the articulation of the word. I just hear the tip, the higher frequency of it. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Now here,
If God's above.
sort of that radio effect. So, but if I move it over a little bit, you start to hear a little bit of the lower mid frequency of his voice as well.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come.
All right, for here, I like,
If God's above, lift me up.
that's pretty much as straightforward as it can be when it comes to setting up your multi-band compressor. Now, your bands for the multi-band compressor. Now, the goal is to reduce all of those frequencies to level them out. By leveling them out, you're controlling, and that's what this is the most incredible multi-band compression tool out there on the market. Now let's see.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one.
All right, that's enough for now. What is that? -2 point. Okay, that's not a problem. Now what I want to do, now I'm going to work from the low to the highs to control the sub bass, the bassy part of the vocal.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. Power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tire road. If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth. Enough is enough. It's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tire road. If God's above,
All right,
lift me
so I
up.
have the vocals sort of sculpted and balanced the way I feel works. I'm going to bypass and then I'm going to activate. And when I do that, I'm going to see the level of volume that's going to change, and I'm going to make up for that manually.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough.
Oh, I don't know, it was supposed to be a 2, not a 22. Sorry about that.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough.
Okay, so now let me quickly show you what I'm doing here with the music muted, and then you can hear the basic change that I was going for. So this is without.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough.
Okay, Now this is with.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. If God's above,
Now,
lift me up.
active,
Speak the truth in love.
unactivated.
Enough is enough. There's power in.
So my goal here was to control this area. This is where things get boomy. This is where things get muddy. This is where the vocal sort of starts to sound not as natural. The goal is to make the vocal sound natural. And, you know, as much as the microphone, the space, the recording, all those things could be good, it's still not, is going to, there's going to be some things that might affect the vocal from it sounding natural. So one of the goals here was to reduce the 50 to about 1K range, and then 1K to about 5K. I wanted to control some of the I would say some of the harshness that the vocal might have in a singing performance. Let's go and listen to it again.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue.
So if you hear "There's power in the tongue,"
if God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come.
could even do a little bit more on that 120 range to 920 range. Just a little bit more reduction, just a little bit more control.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. This power.
So the goal isn't to get rid of the nice part of his vocal that has that bass to it, but the goal is to control it.
If God's above,
all right, with the music.
lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come. Your will be done on this tightrope.
All right. So now to add a little bit of character and saturation to the vocals to wake things up, this is going to be Spectre for my go-to on this.
If God.
Other times that when I didn't have Spectre, I would use something like Saturn that give me a saturation in a specific frequency range. This is even better.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come.
All right, now a little bit of width.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope.
All right, now I'm gonna add the hoser. The hoser is a EQ plugin. And what my goal is here is just to sort of sweep and find frequencies that that I don't like, and then also find ones that I do like and boost those.
If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. If God's above, lift me up. Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. If God.
All right, so this is pretty much going to be a little bit of control in the mid-range. Let me bring up the multi-band compressor to show you what I'm trying to control is
If God's above.
with this one. If I were to make a little bit of a new crossover for there, this is where that.
If God's above,
So that's where I'd be controlling some of this, but I don't want to do it with the multiband, so I don't. Instead, I do it with the Ozone Spectral Shaper. So the goal to control that area of the vocal is to make sure there's no harshness. And I think that's what is going to sort of separate your high level mix to like a novice mix is if you have harshness in your vocals. Some guys go in and they pretty much try to EQ everything out that's harsh. I used to be that guy. I've learned over the years that that ain't it. That ain't it. It's small moves, little by little. You're reducing and taking certain parts of the vocal out that are bothering you while you're in the process. That's why it's good to start with cleaning the vocal and then moving up into the saturation, into the EQs, and then the compressions, and then a little bit more from there. So, all right, now let's see if I can continue on getting this vocal in the pocket.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love, enough is enough, this power.
All right, so now I got the vocal where I want it, but now I'm starting to hear some of the S's sort of pop out. So I'll go back into my chain, I go to my de-esser inserts, and I have various de-essers for different purposes. Let me show you one of them that is very common. You go to load, Jack Joseph Pugue, Mary J. Blige, Mary Vox, I believe. And from there, you can sidechain it, hear what's happening.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love, enough is enough.
So sometimes I use this. It's a little bit of a heavier control if you need it. Similar kind of deal with this Pro de-esser as well. You throw it in addition. So that right there.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love, enough is enough, there's power in the tongue, pray that we be one, let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this time.
All right. I heard it, don't like it, let's take it out. Now, a little bit more de-essing in this chain. This one is going to be pretty much stock de-esser from Waves at its stock frequency, and that's a perfect frequency just to control some of the top end. Let me do that.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love, enough is enough, there's power in the tongue, pray that we be one, let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love, enough is enough, there's power in the tongue, pray that we be one.
There we go. That's without any processing, and then we go with the processing.
If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love, enough is enough, there's power in the tongue, pray that we be one, let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope. If God's above, lift me up, speak the truth in love, enough is enough, there's power in the tongue.
I love it. So next, what I feel I want to do, the chorus is going to be one of the main focal points for the song in general. The rap, of course, but the chorus is going to be what people are going to quickly memorize a lot quicker than the double time bars that Josh and APayne have. So let's focusing on the chorus is a good start for this. I'm not going to get into the verse today on the stream. Plus, I'm having issues again with my my internet live here. But what I'm going to do though is I am going to move into treating the instrumental, and this is a very basic treatment to the instrumental. The first part of it involved gain staging it and bringing it, I say, about 15 dB down. And I can already tell that, there's a little bit of a, not necessarily bad clipping, but it doesn't have really powerful transients. Sorry about that. So what I want to do though, instead, is I'm going to create those transients myself. Some transify. Now I'm going to mute the mute. I'm going to mute the vocals. Oops. And then we're going to start it up right here. And I'm going to go back into my VSX. So transient shaping, increasing the transient energy, and then spectre, that gives me a little bit of a saturation curve on the low end, the mid, which is sort of the body of the drums, and then the hats to kind of wake things up a bit.
Speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come.
With it off.
Your will be done on this tightrope.
With it on. All right. Okay, so my next step on the vocals here, the chorus vocals, is going to be adding a little bit of dimension using a vocal doubler. This vocal doubler here is a send, and it goes all the way over to my effects folders. And I have a chorus plugin folder here that allows me, so this is Vox Doubler 1, where is it here? Vox Doubler 1 right here, this doubler. I'm going to bring it over here so then I can close that folder up. Now let's activate that doubler. And now I have this Pensado Vocal Direct. This is going to pretty much add some width and a little bit of I think, give it more present on the sides and just sort of thicken it up a bit. Let's see.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tightrope.
All right, there's that. Now my next is going to be a plate. I'm going to go over to my reverbs folder. I'm going to grab my plate, and which one is the one that I decide to use today? Let's see here. Let's use a super plate from Sound Toys. Super plate from Sound Toys is it's actually a new reverb that's on the market from Sound Toys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to max it out all the way up. And this is how I set my reverbs. All right. So maxed out all the way up. Now let's play it back.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love.
So yes, it's loud. But with that, through the different types of super plate settings they have here. So they have a classic 140.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tire road. Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that.
I like the gold foil 240. We're going to keep it at that. The length, I usually just keep it here. I don't need to mess with it because it's not going to be, there's no specific length that I'm going for aside from just filling the presence. What I'm also looking at doing here is adjusting the pre-delay. Now the pre-delay could be a little bit complicated, but the best way I could describe the pre-delay is that it's musical. So it's a musical delay for when the vocal, the signal of the vocal hits the reverb, and it has a little bit of a delay. The reason why the pre-delay is super important in setting your reverbs is because if you don't have pre-delay, sometimes the vocal is going to sound in the back, and it's not going to have the reverb and the vocal are sort of going to be blended together, and it might make things sound a little bit pushed back. Now, if you adjust the delay, your vocal is still going to be out, and the pre-delay, the reverb is going to be out here. And so the timing of it should be musical. And let's find it right now.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tire road.
So there's a couple ways, right? You could go a little slower, it still be musical, and it still has a good bounce to it. Or you could go a little faster and still be musical, have a little bounce to it. I think I like where I have it right now. I don't even know what it is. It's 147 milliseconds.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Is enough.
Now, there is another way that this could be done as well. If you don't want to do it by ear, I recommend you do, because you get a little bit more of a natural feeling when you do it by ear. You could always chain in a delay plugin. Now I'll show you how to do that. This delay plugin, my favorite, it's going to be H delay. I'm going to bring it over. Once I have my H delay set up, what I'll do is I'll have it on 0 feedback, on full wet, and then now 1/64th is on the host BPM.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come on this tire road.
I like 132. What does that end up being millisecond wise? 132. Oh, can't find it.
Lift me up. Enough is enough. There's power in.
Yeah. So that is the way that I set my levels for a. This is one of the ways. I have other processes that I reverb technically with all the technical aspects of it.
Lift me up, speak the truth in love. Enough is enough. There's power in the tongue. Pray that we be one. Let your kingdom come, and your will be done on this tire road.
All right. My internet is terrible, so I'm just going to cut off the stream here. Thanks for tuning in if you did.